charged 5 defendants responsible for distributing large quantities of ketamine to Mr. Perry. These defendants took advantage of Mr. Perry's addiction issues to enrich themselves.
Matthew Perry's death investigation has uncovered some surprising details that could change everything we thought we knew. Stay tuned as we've got all the latest updates on this shocking and developing story, here on Celebrity Business. The investigation into Matthew Perry's untimely death has officially concluded on August 15. The investigations revealed the arrest of 5 persons who were involved in Matthew Perry's death. In December of last year, an autopsy report revealed that Matthew Perry's death was caused by acute effects of ketamine. It was later revealed Perry had received ketamine infusion therapy for anxiety and depression, but had last undergone the treatment a week and a half before his death. So, the ketamine found in Perry's system was not doctor-prescribed, which prompted an investigation from both local and federal authorities. Multiple law enforcement agencies in Los Angeles executed a number of search warrants, where computers, phones, and other electronic equipment were seized in order to get to the bottom of who supplied Matthew Perry with the ketamine that led to his untimely death in October 2023. Law enforcement authorities say a broad, underground criminal network was responsible for supplying Matthew Perry with the ketamine that led to his death.
Investigation has revealed a broad, underground criminal network responsible for distributing large quantities of ketamine to Mr. Perry and others.
Questions are swirling around who are these people, and what role did they play in Perry's death? 2 of the persons that were arrested were doctors, and 1 was Matthew Perry's personal assistant.
This network included a live-in assistant, various go-betweens, 2 medical doctors, and a major source of drug supply known as, quote, the ketamine queen.
These 5 persons were arrested for supplying and supporting Matthew Perry with the drugs, despite having knowledge of his struggles with drug addiction. Authorities say that Matthew Perry was clean for 19 months before he relapsed just a month prior his death, and the 5 persons charged in connection to his death, especially his assistant, had good knowledge of his addiction struggles but cared more about making money off of him than his well-being.
The investigation revealed that in the fall of 2023, Mr. Perry fell back into addiction. These defendants took advantage of Mr. Perry's addiction issues to enrich themselves.
During the short period of Matthew Perry's relapse, these 5 persons charged in connection to his death allegedly made over $50,000 in cash from selling ketamine to the actor.
Over 2 months, from September to October 2023, they distributed approximately 20 vials of ketamine to Mr. Perry in exchange for $55,000 in cash.
The 5 persons were revealed to be Dr. Chavez, Dr. Placentia, Matthew Perry's assistant Kenneth Iwamasa, Eric Fleming, who helped in the drug processing deals, and Jasmine Sanya, known as the ketamine queen.
The 2 lead defendants in this case are defendants Salvador Placencia and defendant Jasmine Sanya.
As California authorities continued their investigation into the death of Matthew Perry, more information came to light about the roles the 5 persons close to him played in his untimely demise.
Defendant Placencia was a medical doctor. He worked with another medical doctor, defendant Mark Chavez, to obtain ketamine. He then worked with Mr. Perry's live-in assistant, defendant Kenneth Iwamasa, to distribute that ketamine to Mr. Perry.
Authorities say that these persons only cared about making money and not the well-being of the actor. The 2 doctors allegedly texted about distributing drugs to Perry. In text messages to Chavez, Placentia allegedly discussed how much to charge Perry for the ketamine, stating, "I wonder how much this moron will pay."
Defendant Placentia saw this as an opportunity to profit off of Mr. Perry. He wrote in a text message in September 2023, quote, "I wonder how much this moron will pay." He also stated in text messages that he wanted to be Mr. Perry's sole source of supply. As a doctor, defendant Placentia knew full well the danger of what he was doing.
Matthew Perry's assistant, Kenneth Iwamasa, allegedly administered more than 20 shots of ketamine in the last 4 days of Perry's life, without him having any professional experience to administer the drug. On top of that, Iwamasa was well aware of Matthew Perry's struggles with drug addiction but continued to supply and support his addiction. Matthew Perry's assistant Kenneth Iwamasa admitted to repeatedly injecting the actor with ketamine, and has pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to distribute ketamine, causing Matthew Perry's death. Jasveen Sanya, also known as the Ketamine Queen, allegedly sold the fatal dose to Matthew Perry.
Sanya sold the batch of ketamine that resulted in Mr. Perry's death on October 28th.
Authorities say the defendants tried to cover up what they were doing with codes, calling ketamine Dr. Pepper, cans and bots. And after learning of Perry's death, Sanya sent out an alarm to co-drug dealer Eric Fleming to delete all their messages.
After Mr. Perry died, these defendants tried to cover up what they'd done. On October 28th, after reading news reports of Mr. Perry's death, defendant Sanya wrote a text message to defendant Fleming saying, quote, "Delete all our messages."
All 5 persons in connection to Matthew Perry were charged for conspiracy to distribute ketamine and distribution of ketamine resulting in death, among other drug trafficking charges.
We have filed numerous federal charges against the 5 defendants. Charges include conspiracy to distribute ketamine, distribution of ketamine resulting in death, maintaining drug-involved premises for that drug-selling emporium the defendant Sanya had, altering and falsifying records related to a federal investigation for those false medical notes and records that defendant Placentia made, and multiple other drug trafficking counts.
However, of the 5 persons charged, only 3 pleaded guilty. Matthew Perry's assistant pleaded guilty for repeatedly administering the drug. Dr. Chavez pleaded guilty to selling ketamine to Dr. Placentia by writing fraudulent prescriptions in another patient's name. Eric Fleming pleaded guilty to a pair of charges: conspiracy to distribute ketamine and distribution of ketamine resulting in death and serious bodily injury. Dr. Placentia and Sanya, the Ketamine Queen, both pleaded not guilty to all charges and await trial in October.
With regard to defendant Placentia, the statutory maximum sentence he faces is 120 years in federal prison. And with regard to defendant Sanya, the statutory maximum she faces is life imprisonment.
Sanya was jailed without bond and Dr. Placentia's bond was set at $100,000. They are both awaiting trial in October, with Sanya's trial date set for October 8th, while Dr. Placentia's trial date is set for October 15th. This situation is causing a whole lot of debate across the internet, leaving many to consider the impact of blame, responsibility, and the celebrity culture. Celebrity culture often glorifies those with wealth and influence, often blurring the lines between right and wrong. These persons arrested clearly knew what they were doing was wrong, but they continued to enable Matthew Perry's addiction anyways, all to make money and to appease to the rich and powerful. Leave your thoughts in the comments section. Catch up on more celebrity business in the next video.